Good.
Good.
All right, who's got it?
Well, similar question to last year. Whoop, something just went flying.
Somebody's microphone.
Yep, there it goes. You can just clip it on the front. It's fine.
Front two. Similar to last year, huh?
Similar to last year, you have a lot of questions of replacing guys that had a lot of success. I mean, you look on the D line, and it's almost the same thing. 2 years ago it was Vic Beasley, and this year it's Shaq Lawson and some others. Just, do you like the depth that's coming in that's ready to get their opportunity?
I'm at some spots. I feel better, more sure, more information. Got some spots starting, at defensive tackle. I think we have more proven players, more guys that have a resume. A few more guys at linebacker than we had a year ago at this time. And but after that, other than Cordray Tankersley, in the secondary, there's a lot to be found out here over the course of the next 3-4 weeks. So I think it will be at a few positions, defensive end, potentially at safety, potentially at corner. That there's going to be a growing process, and we got numbers, we got bodies, and I think starting at defensive end and then in the secondary, generally speaking, just what kind of physical and mental toughness that we're going to have, and I don't know, I don't. You feel like we have a chance, but. Playing this is a tough game for tough guys, and the great ones, if they possess something, they possess some level of toughness, and particularly in that secondary, we lost a lot of physically tough guys. We lost some skill, we lost some experience, yes, but I think that again it comes down to the physical and mental toughness that we got to find out if guys are going to have it or not, and we may not know when the first game comes. It might be mid-season, and we've got a lot to work through and to discover and to develop. How we're going to generate a pass rush. I'm not one to believe that you just the next man up and you're going to get the same kind of production. I don't buy in that jargon. I think you guys got to go earn it. You got to develop them. You got to stress them, and sometimes it's not as good as it was, and sometimes it exceeds your expectations. And but generating a pass rush, and particularly at defensive end, I think that there's a lot that we don't know there yet. And talent is one thing, but a skill development is another. If it's just talent, we had Vic Beasley in 2012 was on our roster, so was Tavares Barnes and Malachi Goodman and Corey Crawford. We couldn't sack ourselves. We were terrible, and we developed through the year, got better as the year went on. But there's a bunch of those guys that were young, and so you have a whole list of excuses if you're looking for them that we weren't very good. I just used that year. If it was that easy, why didn't we do it that year? It's not that easy, and I love the guys that we're working with. But just because a guy's talented doesn't mean he's a great player. That doesn't have to go hand in hand whatsoever. So there's a lot to be to be discovered, so to speak. And again, same thing. Jadar Johnson he's got somewhat of a resume, but he wasn't good enough to beat out the starter before, and. But he's got a great opportunity now. What his physical toughness, Van Smith, Tanner Muse, Denzel Johnson, what Corinne Wiggins, who didn't participate in spring ball, where he is in regards to, just compared to where he was before. He doesn't always, you don't have to be back where you were. He may not be, I don't know. I really have no idea. And I'm just throwing a few names, not including the incoming freshmen. And then at corner, again, you got Marcus Hedman and Mark Fields and Ryan Carter to go along with Cordray Tankersley and some other guys that are coming in. But again, what their physical and mental toughness is, I don't know. So again, sometimes you got to earn that through a course of time. And it's easy to start off strong in the first day, first week, first month, and I think we proved that last year. We kind of fizzled out a little bit last year. We sustaining success and sustaining the intensity and respecting the game and respecting your opponent and respecting the process. That's all. It sounds really good and easy and okay, just do X, Y, Z. But some guys have the discipline to do it, and some guys don't. We were watching film with our guys last week and looking at some teach tapes and some of the clips. There's a good majority of them that we were teaching from were from the 14 defense. And last year had definitely had some incredible moments, some of the most exciting plays that I've ever been a part of. But the beauty of the 14 team was through the course of whatever it was, 14 games, 13 games, whatever it was, they had patience and discipline and a toughness that you can't coach. And they had a lot to prove. They had a hunger and a sustainability that the special ones do. And so I don't want to get ahead of myself because we got a long way to go before we can say we're a good defense yet. We got to develop chemistry, and I do think we've got a solid foundation. I feel great about that. I think we have a premier player or players at all three levels, and starting up front at the defensive tackle, and Carlos and Christian and Pagano, and a host of others. And then at linebacker and Ben Boulware, and then at Cordray Tankersley in the secondary. But those are only just a few guys, as we showed last year. 10 guys are on point, and one guy want to go do his own thing, and it can be a touchdown, and you all look like a bunch of chumps. So we need to find our best 11 first and foremost, and then developing depth. And we weren't able to even get into a third down defensive package. We played one package the whole spring just because of our numbers, were lacking. And we have a bunch of new guys that have shown up since then, but some guys that are not injured. So we got a lot of work to do over the course of the next 3 weeks. But I love the work that guys have put in. I do think we've got some great leadership, and again, starting up front with Carlos and Christian in particular, and Pagano kind of leading that way with some young guys that like to work. And then Ben Boulware, a guy that's very emotionally and physically invested and leading the charge, and just takes a great deal of pride and a respect for a leadership position and for the success that we've had, and trying to fight for continued success. And a guy that doesn't take things for granted. And then again, a guy like Cordray that I just think his actions speak louder than words. His maturity in choosing to come back to complete both his experience, and again to continue to develop as a young man and as a football player. That wisdom allowed him to see things that, hey, I'm not where I want to be. I want to dominate this game, and he's got the capability of doing so. Had a terrific year last year, but he's coming back for the right reasons to lead this defense and to help build hopefully what will be by the end of the year we can call ourselves a really good defense, if not a great defense.
When you have this much turnover versus a team that returns a bunch of starters, does it change the way you coach? I mean, do you have to push these guys harder in fall camp to get them ready for the season?
I mean, I remember how frightened I was with the 14 defense with all the guys coming back, and afraid that they were going to take things for granted and not work quite as hard, and so every year it's different. But as leaders, as coaches, as leaders, I think through years of experience, the last thing you want to do is assume anything. So you got to start over every year, regardless of the talent, the experience coming back. I think you got to get back to the basics, the fundamentals, and your philosophy, what you expect of your guys, the standards, how you get to the end result, and not jump ahead of ourselves. So there's be a lot of expectations on this football team, but those are just for everybody else on the outside looking in. Do we expect to be good? But yeah, I expect to be good in 2012. It's very frustrating when we weren't very good. But that's just our nature as coaches. So I think what I've learned through the years is that it's not real secretive, so to speak, on how to you get to a level where you're playing consistently and playing at a high level in your performance, and getting your guys to play, mentally and physically tough through effort and fundamentals and technique, and then be unwavering, relentless, and pursuing, those intangibles, the things that it takes to play at a really high level.
Brent, it must help that you're able to roll a Christian Wilkins and an Austin Bryant in last year and get these guys enough playing time. Shaq 2 years ago was able to get a lot of playing time, enough playing time that when they're ready to step in, they've got some background.
Yeah, really hopeful that Christian's experience and Austin's experience is going to pay off. You believe that it would, but same thing. I mean, both of them got a lot to learn and got a lot of work to do. Talented guys that like to work and that are coachable. And then are skilled in size and length and those types of things. But again, got to start over again. And we as coaches aren't assuming anything. We watched the tape. We know what we got to do and the work that needs to be put in. And our guys do. I believe that they do. I don't think that they're coming in here. I think that there's a certain sense of focus and intensity. When I'm in town here in the summer, and I know all of us coaches we're around our guys, and so we haven't had to be chasing guys around to get them to the workouts on time and doing the extra things that it takes to kind of bridge the gap, so to speak. So, but those guys, that experience, I do believe that'll pay off going into this year.
The last time we saw this defense, for all the great things you did last year and the year before, the last time we saw this defense, there were a couple busted plays, a couple big plays. How much has that just bugged you all season? And do you see that in your guys that are coming back, that kind of motivates them, that on the biggest stage we made some of our biggest mistakes?
It bothers you, absolutely. You can't make mistakes in this game. People are you play good people, they're gonna make you pay, and we pay the ultimate price in failure. So. Yeah, it bothers you. If it doesn't, then you weren't, very invested. And so whether you're a coach, you're a player, you're a fan, it should bother you. And it fuels me, and I think it fuels our guys. Knowing again, and this is all a process and how you build a program and the consistency that it takes first to kind of get to that position that we were in. But knowing that again, with the right kind of chemistry, luck. Playmaking, coaching, all of those things that kind of go your way, and you got to make things happen that we can get back there. And but it's a process. It's hard to do, and that's why only a few teams do it. So that'll be the challenge to our guys, amongst other things.
What do you see from Kendall Joseph now that he's going to kind of step into a lot more playing time? You lose a big guy like B.J. Goodson, but Kendall's kind of serving
very mature, first and foremost. So he lets me coach him hard. He takes great pride in his work. In the investment process on the front end. He's got great instincts. He's a tough kid. Came in with great fundamentals, a great foundation, and a feel and understanding for the game. And, I think he's ready for his opportunity. And he was snake bit last year. Even when he was on the active game day roster, he was banged up most of the year, and it was particularly early. He had a knee that he just couldn't get over. Got hurt on the very first day of fall camp, and never really was himself all year.
Excuse me, I got to bring him to radio. You'll be able to get